How's it going, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I'm Vanilla Soup, and today we're going to be talking about Spartan Locke's death in Halo Infinite. You see, this is a topic I keep putting off, but I just don't think I can put it off any longer. With the rumors escalating, I just think it's about time that we talk about what's going to happen to Spartan Locke inside Halo Infinite. And if you're new, definitely hit that subscribe button for all things Halo related. But with that out of the way, let's jump into it. Alright, so let's talk about how this all first came into being. You see, about a year ago, there was some news that dropped that there would be a Mega Construct set that featured a new brute enemy that featured the Hunter class Spartan armor on his shoulder. And the only major character that we know of that uses that armor set is Spartan Locke. So immediately the internet kind of busted up in flames about this, like,
oh my gosh, Spartan Locke is dead, confirmed.
And all this happened about a year ago, and I really wanted to bring it back up because there's some things that happened more recently that kind of rekindled this discussion. But first, I do want to make sure everyone has seen this tweet by Sketch. I know a lot of people have, but just in case you haven't, Sketch did release a tweet concerning this issue. In that tweet, he said, while we unfortunately had toy leaks earlier this year, products appearing now are all expected and part of the roadmap. We wouldn't intentionally spoil key game details, so don't read too much into anything. Not every collectible is a literal tie-in to the game. Now, okay, there you go. We shouldn't at all be concerned because, like, Sketch just said it himself. We shouldn't have to worry about a spoiler being spoiled in a toy. But I wonder how much of this was sort of PR control. Of course, the devs at 343 do not want us knowing any big spoilers before the game comes out. So whether he dies or he doesn't die, this was the answer that I think best serves both of those outcomes. Okay, hypothetically, for the sake of argument, let's say that Sketch is being 100% genuine here and not trying to hide anything. Not that he wouldn't be genuine, but I just mean, like, of course he doesn't want to spoil anything for the game. So yeah, let's assume that Locke for sure isn't going to die. And this is based all on the precedent that it's a toy. And of course that would make sense. Like, toys don't necessarily have to tie into the game. It could just be something really cool that would be fun to play with. It's a toy. You are a toy! You should add that. You should add that. Alright, so let's get back into why we're bringing this up again a year later. Well, you see, in April's Inside Infinite update, we got a better look at what Hyperius might look in the game via some concept art. And wouldn't you know it, Spartan Locke's helmet is there on his shoulder yet again. Caught you in 4K. I think this throws the whole idea of the toy isn't a spoiler out the window. You wouldn't include it in concept art for the character and a toy and then just say, yeah, there's no way Locke is dead. There's no way that's happening. Look, I could be reading way too much into this, and that's fine, but that's the fun of speculation. The fact that we get to talk about this and kind of see how things are stacking up before the game's release. So really, we are left to wonder, will Spartan Locke die in Halo Infinite? There's a lot of evidence that's starting to suggest that he just might. Or worse, he may just get written off before the game actually comes out. The short answer to that is we really don't know, and you know this. There's no way we'll absolutely 100% know if Spartan Locke is going to die or be killed off before Halo Infinite comes out. I mean, yes, I guess he could get written off as well, but let's be honest, what Spartan just leaves their helmet behind? I guess there is that theory that he's under capture and that he's being tortured by the Banished, and that could be interesting. That could be a really interesting concept that I think would be worth exploring. I personally hope he doesn't get written off. I think there's a lot to explore with Spartan Locke still. I don't really mind him much as a character. I think his armor is cool. I think the actor that plays him is really cool. And I think Locke had a lot of things going for him prior to when Halo 5 actually came out. I think that fact alone kind of leads to a lot of unnecessary hate for Spartan Locke. In a major sense, he's still unproven. He has only one game behind him and not a whole lot else. He appears in some expanded universe lore, including the book Bad Blood, which I rave on a lot about because, well, I like that book and you should read it because it's a good book. But yeah, majorly, Spartan Locke really is still unproven. He reminds me a lot of Master Chief actually in Combat Evolved. When you look at him, Halo 5 Locke and Combat Evolved Master Chief are almost the same person. They're both really monotone, they don't express a lot, but even more so, they're just a soldier, kind of replaceable, which I think is an unfortunate thing for Locke. We've had a lot of time with Master Chief, almost 6 games worth, just to see his character grow and see the trials and, you know, all the things that he can overcome. Going back to a Spartan that is a lot like a Spartan 2 would have been, but in a Spartan 4 armor, I think that just kind of caught fans off guard and they didn't really care for it. Heck, maybe the plan was for Locke to kind of take over for Master Chief. That theory has been out there, but I don't think that's going to happen anymore. Another unfortunate thing when it comes to Spartan Locke is that the lead up to Halo 5 sort of kind of gave us the wrong impression about Locke. But really, who wasn't felt led astray by the Halo 5 marketing? But something I really want to focus on here is that just because Halo 5's story was bad, doesn't mean Spartan Locke doesn't have potential. I think it's about time that we get to see Spartan Locke in a different role. Sure, we had a little bit of insight to his character within the movie Nightfall, which, let's just not talk about that one. Maybe something that would be really cool is if we see Locke in a supportive role for Master Chief. We've always seen him in the Halo 5 role of leader of Osiris, the other unit that's not Blue Team. And in that sense, I think we sort of pit Blue Team and Osiris as rivals, even though in the game, they really aren't anything like that. So seeing Locke actually team up with Master Chief for a mission, not in separate locations like the end of Halo 5, I think the opportunity there would be really cool to see Locke do some cool things with Chief. Maybe they do this really cool stunt. Maybe they pull off something really cool and that helps turn the tide of the war. I don't know, but that all relies on him still being alive.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer?
Alright, so let's get into my own opinion on this matter. Do I think Spartan Locke is dead? Yes. I know we're not supposed to read into these small details from a toy or concept art, but it's one of those things that I think is just almost inevitable in my eyes. Like I said, not like I want it to happen. I want Locke to have more chances. But with Halo Infinite kind of focusing more on Master Chief, I think there's a chance that Spartan Locke really will be written off in some capacity. And heck, I don't think he's the only one. I think there's a chance that a lot of the Spartans that we do know from other Halo games and lore are just gonna be gone. But please not Blue Team, please not Blue Team, please not Blue Team, please not Blue Team. But again, I do think Locke deserves another chance. Maybe in a new role or a different light entirely, I don't know. But I think the character deserves another chance. I think the greatest disservice we could do to that character and to Halo fans actually is just writing it off and pretending like Halo 5 never happened. And let's be honest, Spartan Locke really is the main character of Halo 5. Maybe that's a hot take, but that's how I feel. And I feel like killing him or writing him off in some fashion does exactly that. It's a disservice to the game that they tried to create, but more importantly, a disservice to the fans. Because yes, maybe a lot of people don't like Halo 5 and its story, but there's a lot of people that do. If we're going to draw a comparison to something similar, I would compare it to the Star Wars prequels, a trilogy that I absolutely adore and always have loved. But there's a lot of people out there that hate those movies. But then Disney comes out with shows like The Clone Wars and Bad Batch that shines a really cool light on this era that we hadn't seen before, which gives a lot of people a second opportunity to take another look at that era and say, hey, maybe I actually do like some of those things in that prequel trilogy there. I think that same thing could happen to Halo 5. I firmly believe that. While I do think in a lot of ways that game's story is irredeemable, I think the things that they brought up or the characters they brought up in that game have a lot of potential. And I think Halo Infinite has that potential, just like in Star Wars, to have a new light shine on this old era or different era that maybe not a lot of people originally liked. Gives them a second chance to look at it and see what they do like out of it, and then we can go take that stuff and move forward with it. Alright, that's it for me today, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, remember to leave that thumbs up. It goes a long way on the channel. And if you want to watch me live stream some Halo and other fun games, definitely check out my Twitch channel in the link in the description below. But I really do want to hear your thoughts as well. Do you think Spartan Locke should be written off or killed off? Do you think he deserves more chances? I can't wait to hear your thoughts. But as always, my friends, I hope you have a good one, and until next time, I'll see you online. Vanilla Soup, out.